Good morning, everybody. Jared Gaspy, your local real estate superhero here again, doing a little bit of what we kind of talked about and did yesterday, which for those of you guys who don't know, I start every morning that I can with journaling and then doing my gratitudes. I do every morning 5 things that I'm grateful for, either from, things like the day before, things that I'm expecting to happen with the day going forward. It can even be something that's really vague, just general things that I'm really grateful for, but I try to start it off, and I try to start my day off with something that I'm a little grateful for. I just feel like it's a healthier way to get my mind in the right shape going forward. And so I figured I haven't been doing a lot of videos, and I'm always trying to find ways to connect with everyone, and I feel like this is a very easy way for me to be able to commit and communicate and connect with everyone else. So especially if it's in the form of showing gratitude for things, I don't see why I can't find time to do it. And I made the comment yesterday that, sometimes it may be at night, but I'm always going to try to do my gratitudes in the morning. I'm always going to try to start that part off at least early, so that way I start the day off right. So jumping right into it, these videos are going to be very just raw. There's not going to be a lot of editing. There's not going to be a lot of music or anything like that. I've got my coffee here, so any mistakes or anything that happens, you're going to end up hearing them and just seeing them. So if I screw up on saying something, there you go. And yeah, we're just going to take everything one step at a time. So I've got my journal. And number 1 for what I put down was winning buyers at showings. And so this is a very professional, business-oriented one. Essentially, I've had decent handful of people that don't have agents ask to see some of the listings that I've had hit the market in the last couple of weeks. And, if they don't have an agent, then usually they're asking me to show it to them personally. And so I've had that happen twice in the last about week and a half. Just people who don't have agents yet. And the first one was with one of my listings over in Corona. And it was someone who basically would just see a listing that they'd like, so they'd reach out to the agent in charge of that listing and have them show them homes. And it was just the one, if you're the agent in charge of 1234 Banana Street, then would you please show me 1234 Banana Street? And then you leave it at that and you're done. And apparently this family liked me enough to where it wasn't just me showing them my listing, it turned into me showing them multiple ones. And we're in the process of getting them into a new home now, and it's just really nice to know that I was able to, for whatever reason, be the different aspect to what they were seeing with every other agent. And I don't know, that's really nice. And so ultimately, the one that they did see, my listing already had multiple offers on it, and they weren't in a big position to want to go into a giant bidding war. They weren't really excited for that or up for that, so we reevaluated, and that's why we're still kind of getting them oriented into a different home that's not my listing. But that's the point, is it's not my listing, and yet they still wanted to stick with me. And so that meant a lot. I also had on Saturday, I showed one of my other listings over in Orange County, and they called me yesterday, actually, just to say, can we write up an offer? And would you please write it up for us? And so that meant a lot. And so not squared away on that one yet, still getting all the, documentation, everything in order, getting everything lined up. So we'll see how that goes. But the fact of the matter is that they not only liked my listing and the way that I showed them the home, but they liked me enough to say, I trust you in order to kind of treat us right and point us in the right direction. And so it doesn't always happen, and it's not always going to happen, but it definitely feels nice whenever it does. And so I wanted to make sure I mentioned it. Going on to number 2 is online gaming with friends. So we went from business side to complete other side. I've never really been into online gaming, like at all. I still wouldn't really say that I am. I was never really into things like World of Warcraft or MMOs. The most I ever really did was I played a lot of FPS games whenever I was in high school. So I was doing a lot of Team Fortress 2. I would do things like Halo and Call of Duty and stuff like that. But that was about it. And it was never anything that really required a large chunk of my time. And it was never something that I did with friends for the most part. And so it really, I've never been the kind of person that had blocks of time set up because I needed to make sure that I was playing the game in order to finish parts A through C today or whatever. It was games that I could say, okay, I'm done playing, I'm going to shut it off and nothing's going to matter. But with everything going on the way that it has in the last, 7 months because of all the craziness 2020 is throwing our way, online gaming's sort of been a really cool aspect of things, because I live over in Southern California, but I lived in Central California for 99% of my life. And I'm the one that moved the shortest distance away out of most of my friends. Most of my friends moved out of state, and so they're in Michigan or Oregon or just wherever. And so having a situation like where we're in right now, where people aren't allowed to really see each other all that much, and even when they are, a lot of people are on high alert, having stuff like online gaming is just really cool to be able to do and be able to say, hey, I'm going to hang out with friends, even if they're not necessarily going to be right in front of me, because they're not always capable of being right in front of you. And so, I don't know, I find that really cool. And it's just something small that probably wouldn't have mattered a whole lot to me in high school, but matters a lot more to me now, even if I don't find time or have time to do it all the time. Number three is, it is Lily's birthday month next month. Her birthday is August 17th, and so every month in August of every year, I try to basically make that month dedicated to her, and I try to just orient everything around celebrating her and celebrating our relationship and celebrating her birthday. That's basically it in a nutshell. Some people think that that's very romantic, that I dedicate an entire month to my wife. I personally think that it's actually very clever on my end, because I have yet to ever forget my wife's birthday, but I know that that has always been a cliche since I was a little kid, so I figured that if I start early, just celebrating the entire month of August, if I ever get to where I'm like 85 and I just can't seem to remember what day it is, but I know that it's August, then I can just get away with, skipping the actual 17th whenever I'm 90 and, not thinking straight anymore, and I'm not going to get in trouble. So even if I forget, I'm safe, which this is pre-planning, like decades in advance, to make sure that whenever I just can't pay as much attention, that I'm still okay and I'm not sleeping on the couch by force. So that's number three. But yeah, I'm excited for next month. Next month is her birthday month. I've got some stuff planned out, and then I've got some really basic things planned out that's just sort of fun and easy to help her relax and help her just kind of enjoy the fact that it's her birthday month. So number four, I talked about appointments on Saturday, talked about appointments, through Monday through Friday of last week, and I didn't have appointments yesterday, which was really cool and really different, because I'm really used to constantly having appointments just about every day of the week now, and sometimes it's multiple appointments each day, and yesterday I just didn't have any. And that's not super rare, but it's definitely not super normal. I've dwindled down on how many appointments I'm having because of the fact that everyone's in shutdown, but you'd be shocked at how often I'm still having to go out and meet with photographers, inspectors, things like that, alongside meeting with actual clients. And so having a day where I didn't have to actually leave the house for anything other than maybe picking up dinner or running small errands was really cool. And mainly because there's a lot of stuff that I used to be able to do whenever I was brand new in this, and I could dedicate just entire days to trying to build clientele base and build relationships and make new friends and talk to new people and interact with different communities. And I do a lot of that through social media anyways. And so having yesterday just being completely dedicated to that, I cranked through a lot. I followed up with a lot of old friends. I followed up a lot with people who could be potential clients. I had potential clients reaching out to me, which I don't even know how that happened. I'm talking about how I'm going out of my way to talk to people, and then suddenly the day where I'm capable of doing that, other people are reaching out to me. So I have no idea, but yesterday was a solid, just great day. I can't say it's going to happen every day. I've got appointments today that I've got to go to, but it's definitely really cool, and it's one of those weird things where you have to kind of appreciate the small things. So appreciate the small things. Last but certainly not least, I did the HelloFresh thing. I had 3 free meals sent to my door last week and got to just enjoy doing that. I can't cook, like, for crap, and I didn't do a horrible job. And so I wouldn't say that all the recipes were super great, but I was really shocked at how simple and straightforward they were in order to do. And so it was really cool to kind of experiment and branch out a little bit from where my comfort zone is and what I'm good at or not good at. And I didn't burn the entire house down, so that's a plus. And yeah, it was definitely really cool. My mom does HelloFresh all the time, so I guess she had the ability to send me like a free 3-meal package, and so I was able to pick out some of the things I wanted to cook. One of them was really good, one of them was pretty decent, and then one of them not so much. I personally thought it was okay, but my wife really just wasn't a fan of it at all. And that's kind of the fun thing, though, is because we were talking about why we didn't like some of the ones that were kind of meh, and it wasn't that they were bad, it's just sort of like we ended up realizing the recipe wasn't something that we would like a whole lot, and so it's one of those situations where you're like, I might not really be the biggest fan of this, but the fact that I don't like it as much is probably a good sign that it's made well. Kind of like if you really hate onions and then you have like French onion soup, like you're probably not going to like it, but the fact that you don't like it probably means that it tastes good. And so it was stuff like that, where even the ones we didn't like were really fun to make. And it was a really good way of me kind of disconnecting from business for even in like 15 minutes, and that's enough. I don't really need the biggest breaks in the world, and it was just enough for me to be able to kind of say I need to focus on not burning the house down for 20 minutes, and I didn't. So go me, I didn't burn my house down. So that's my 5 things that I'm grateful for. I really appreciate everyone again who's watched, and I will just upload this pretty much within 20 minutes of me having it recorded, and that way you guys can see it and we can start our morning off well. Everyone make sure you've got your coffee, whether it be because it's in a thermos because you're getting ready to head out almost immediately after, or if you're just kind of unwinding for the day, or if you're starting off your Monday just hitting the ground running, whatever your situation is, hopefully being a little grateful helps a little bit. So I will talk to you guys later, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much. Bye.